It's 1982, and a farmer on the sacred Mount Song in Henan province stumbles upon something incredible. Not bronze, as people first thought, but a thin sheet of pure gold. Turns out, this tiny gold piece was a Jingjian, an ancient confession tablet, engraved with 63 Chinese characters. And guess who wrote it? None other than the legendary Zetian herself, China's only female emperor. The inscription, dated precisely to the 7th day of the 7th month in the year 700 CE, is a confession. Zetian openly acknowledges her sins and transgressions. She humbly begs the Taoist gods of Mount Song to erase her name from their heavenly list of sinners. So, what exactly was on this golden tablet? Hey everyone, welcome back to Tea with Amy. Grab your tea, because today we're going to talk about the scandalous stories and blood-soaked legends that Zetian might have been trying to wipe away. Zetian wasn't exactly your average ruler. She shattered all the rules of her time by becoming China's first and only female emperor, even founding her own dynasty, the Wuzhou dynasty. Going from teenage concubine to sitting on the dragon throne meant she had to be incredibly ambitious. And let's be real, probably ruthless too. So finding an actual confession from someone like her is beyond extraordinary. This confession took physical form in that golden tablet discovered on Mount Song, also known as the Zetian Jingjian, an official request for divine mercy. So what exactly did Zetian say to the gods? Well, the 63 characters translates into something pretty close to this. The ruler of the great Zhou, Wu Zhao, who delights in the true Tao and seeks eternal life among the immortals, respectfully comes to the sacred gate of Mount Song, the central peak, to deposit this golden tablet, imploring the 3 officials in the 9 prefectures of the spirit world to remove Wu Zhao's name from the register of sins. Clearly, this wasn't a casual prayer. It's formal, official, almost like she's filing paperwork with heaven itself. The inscription clearly states who wrote it: the ruler of the great Zhou, Wu Zhao. The Zhao that is used is a unique character that Zetian created, which means sun and moon illuminating the sky. It was her personal stamp, like her imperial signature. And using pure gold to make this tablet simply meant this wasn't just anyone's confession. This was definitely the emperor speaking. In her request, Zetian aligns herself with Taoism, mentioning she delights in the true Tao. But the heart of her plea is crystal clear. She's asking the gods to directly remove Wu Zhao's name from the register of sins. In other words, she's admitting her name is, or at least might be, written down as a sinner in the divine books. And she desperately wants it erased. She formally asks for forgiveness. This golden tablet is Zetian's admission of guilt about something. But she never specifies exactly what these sins are, leaving behind a pretty juicy mystery. So what exactly was weighing so heavily on her conscience? What was she asking forgiveness for? Maybe the answer is in her most horrifying legends. One of the most shocking legends of Zetian involves the death of her daughter and how that sets the stage for Zetian's rise to power. The Imperial harem at the time was a glamorous but dangerous world, where women battled fiercely behind the scenes for imperial favor, status, and influence. When Zetian first entered the imperial harem as Emperor Gaozong's consort, there were already 2 powerful women there: Empress Wang, who held the highest rank but was childless, and the favorite consort Xiao, a beloved concubine who had already borne the emperor children. These 2 were busy fighting each other over control of the inner palace when Zetian entered the picture. At first, it was believed that Empress Wang saw Zetian as a useful ally against consort Xiao, but Zetian wasn't anyone's pawn. She quickly captured Emperor Gaozong's heart, gaining his absolute devotion and rapidly climbing the ranks. It didn't take long before both Empress Wang and Consort Xiao realized this newcomer wasn't just a temporary distraction. She was a serious threat. In a surprising move, the former rivals Empress Wang and Consort Xiao joined forces against Zetian. The palace became a battlefield of whispers and subtle schemes. They reportedly did everything possible to undermine her, spreading rumors and trying to turn the emperor against her. Wu Zetian suddenly found herself up against two powerful women determined to see her downfall. And this tense atmosphere set the stage for one of the most horrifying stories told about her. The story usually goes something like this. Shortly after giving birth, Wu Zetian allegedly smothered the infant. When Empress Wang visited, Wu Zetian acted as if everything was fine. But later, when Emperor Gaozong arrived, Wu Zetian dramatically discovered that her infant daughter had died. With convincing grief, she pointed suspicion straight at Empress Wang, the last person who'd visited the infant. Whether this actually happened or was just a carefully crafted rumor, it had devastating consequences. It turned Emperor Gaozong against Empress Wang, leading to her downfall and clearing Wu Zetian's path to becoming the empress. If the story about Wu Zetian's infant daughter wasn't shocking enough, wait until you hear what happened to her defeated rivals, former Empress Wang and Consort Xiao. This story takes cruelty to a completely different level and is known as the Drunken Bones legend. After Wu Zetian ascended as empress, she quickly banished the former Empress Wang and Consort Xiao to the dreaded Cold Palace, a place of isolation for disgraced harem women. But that still wasn't enough. One day, as Emperor Gaozong wandered the palace grounds, he saw his former empress and consort confined in miserable conditions. Struck by a rare wave of compassion, he considered restoring their status. Obviously, Wu Zetian wasn't going to let that happen. According to legends, she ordered their hands and feet cut off. Then she had their mutilated but still living bodies thrown into large vats of wine, cruelly remarking that she wanted them drunken to the very bone. The woman reportedly suffered for days before finally dying in agony. But the story didn't end there. In her last moments, Consort Xiao is said to have cursed Wu Zetian, declaring, "May you, Wu, be reincarnated as a mouse, and I as a cat. Then shall I torment you for eternity." Wu Zetian was so disturbed by this curse that she banned cats from the Imperial palace for years afterward. We may never know what actually happened. Historians like to point out that these gruesome tales of torture often crop up in histories about vilified powerful women, like Empress Lu from the Han Dynasty. But this particular legend has been persistently associated with Wu Zetian for centuries, becoming a symbol of just how cruel and ruthless she supposedly could be. Wu Zetian's ruthlessness, if the stories are true, didn't stop there. While she later promoted some members of her Wu clan to counterbalance the influence of the Imperial Mi family, other legends tell of how her wrath fell onto those who got in her way or who had wronged her in the past. Take the tragic story of her older sister Wu Shun. As a widow and sister of the empress, Wu Shun often visited the palace, but rumors soon emerged that Emperor Gaozong had become interested in her, and it became an open secret that she was sharing the emperor's bed. Not long after these rumors began, Wu Shun suddenly died. Some claim illness, but the timing is certainly suspicious. And it didn't stop there. The emperor's eye then reportedly turned toward Wu Shun's daughter and Wu Zetian's niece, Helan Mingyue. She quickly became a favorite, and whispers grew that Emperor Gaozong wanted to officially make her an imperial consort and bring her into his harem. Wu Zetian probably did not like that, because Helan Mingyue suddenly and unexpectedly died. Another suspicious death, this time said to be by poisoning. The story then takes an even darker twist, suggesting that Wu Zetian cleverly turned this tragedy into an opportunity to settle old family scores. She blamed the poisoning on two of her paternal cousins, Wu Weiliang and Wu Huayun, whose family had mistreated Wu Zetian's mother when Wu Zetian was young. It seems she never forgot that old grudge. The story goes something like this. At the time, it was customary for officials to present food offerings to the imperial palace for the emperor and empress. Wu Weiliang and Wu Huayun followed suit to submit their offerings in hopes of gaining favor. When Wu Zetian received the food, an idea came to her. she immediately invited He Mingyue to join her. Secretly, she poisoned the food, then casually said to her niece, "This was sent from our family, let's eat it together." The young girl thought it was from her own family and ate the food, but only after a few bites, she started bleeding, collapsed on the floor, and died. A poisoning in the palace? Unbelievable. An immediate investigation was launched, and Wu Weiliang and Wu Huayun were quickly arrested, being the primary suspects for delivering the food. Wu Zetian claimed that the real target was herself, but poisoned He Mingyue by mistake. Whether her cousins were truly guilty or simply scapegoats did not matter. They were promptly executed. Wu Zetian's purge of her sister's family line didn't end there. Her nephew, He Mingyue's brother, He Mingzhi, was also exiled and then forced to end his own life. He was initially supported by Wu Zetian, but proved to be troublesome when he started spreading stories about what happened to his family. This string of tragic fates within her own extended family became a chilling constant of Wu Zetian's path to power. But wait, there's more. There are even stories of how Wu Zetian brutally handled her own imperial heirs that dared to challenge her authority. A famous legend tells the story of the crown prince Li Hong, Wu Zetian's eldest son, with Emperor Gaozong. Li Hong was described by many as compassionate and promising, and Wu Zetian had high hopes for him. At that time, Wu Zetian was co-ruling the empire alongside Emperor Gaozong, together often referred to as the Two Sages, highlighting her immense influence even then. Then rumors came about that Emperor Gaozong considered abdicating in favor of Wu Zetian, but was sidelined by strong resistance from court officials. This resistance led Wu Zetian to think, why can't I become emperor myself? Li Hong started to fall out of favor when he tried to interfere in government affairs under claim of crown prince responsibilities. He even reportedly tried to persuade Wu Zetian to transfer her authority to him. Their conflict finally reached its peak when one day, while visiting the palace of the Hidden Garden, Li Hong came across the two daughters of the deceased consort Xiao, who had been imprisoned since their mother's fall from grace. Seeing their sad and neglected state deeply moved Li Hong, and he petitioned his father, Emperor Gaozong, to release them. Wu Zetian was enraged. Compassion for her enemies? What's next? Rebellion? In 675 CE, Li Hong suddenly died. Official records blamed illness, but many rumors claimed it was caused by poisoning. Was it by Wu Zetian? Certainly suspicious. And then there was Li Xian, the next son to become crown prince. Talented and scholarly, he even led a project to explain the Book of the Later Han, a book that some claimed to be critical of women in power, which did not go well with Wu Zetian. Soon enough, rumors of indulgence and rebellion started to build up around Li Xian, until he was finally arrested upon the convenient discovery of illegal weapons in his household. Li Xian was deposed and exiled in 680 CE, and eventually forced to death in 684 CE. Adding intrigue, some stories even claimed that Li Xian was actually the son of Wu Zetian's older sister, Wu Shun, rather than her own child. Whether true or just suspicion, this rumor adds an even darker twist to the tragedy. With Li Xian out of the way, Wu Zetian's third son, Li Zhe, was made crown prince, eventually becoming Emperor Zhongzong after the death of his father in 683 CE. But this term as emperor was epically short, as he was quickly deposed by Wu Zetian after just a few months for being too independent. Wu Zetian then installed her fourth son, Li Dan, as Emperor Ruizong, who served as a complete puppet. Now that the path has been properly paved and the way clear, in 690 CE, Li Dan was deposed, and Wu Zetian officially declared herself Emperor of the Wuzhou dynasty, the first and only female emperor of China. But even after Wu Zetian created her golden confession tablet, it was not safe. In 701 CE, 1 year after the tablet was made, her grandson Li Chongrun, who was crown prince at the time, along with her granddaughter Li Xianhui, were both forced to take their own life. But why? Supposedly for privately complaining about Wu Zetian's powerful favorites, the Zhang brothers. It was not a good time to be the crown prince. Beyond the deeply personal betrayals, Wu Zetian's rule was also marked by a calculated reign of fear. To secure her rule and crush oppositions, she empowered a network of infamous cruel officials. These cruel officials specialized in torture and punishment, making sure no one dared to speak out against Wu Zetian. Central to this effort was the copper vessel, a public suggestion box with 4 slots where citizens were encouraged to submit accusations against officials, report secret plots, or even offer good ideas. Informants were rewarded, even if their claims proved to be false, creating a chilling incentive for people to snitch on each other. In a particularly ironic twist, even the inventor of the copper vessel, a man named Yu Baojia, became its victim. Shortly after being praised for his creation, an anonymous accusation against him was dropped into his own device. He was arrested, tortured, and eventually executed. A grim example of the system turning on its own. Another darkly ironic tale from this period is that of Please enter the urn, 请君入瓮. In this story, the cruel official Lai Junchen was tasked with interrogating fellow officer Zhou Xing for accusation of treason. Lai Junchen invited Zhou Xing for a meal and casually asked for advice. I have a prisoner who stubbornly refuses to confess. Do you have any good methods? Zhou Xing, oblivious to the trap, proudly suggested a brutal method. That's easy. Take a large urn, light a charcoal fire all around it, and then put the prisoner inside. What wouldn't they confess? Lai Junchen calmly ordered his men to bring such an urn, and then, turning to a horrified Zhou Xing, said, "The emperor has ordered me to investigate you, brother, so please enter the urn." Zhou Xing, caught by his own cruel tactics, immediately confessed to everything. To ensure these purges were efficient with absolute control, even the methods of persecution were codified. This led to the creation of the infamous 罗织经, known as the Manual of Entrapment. This chilling handbook, co-authored by Lai Junchen himself, guided officials on how to expertly frame people and fabricate charges. Beyond physical torment, Wu Zetian also wielded symbolic destruction. She famously designated a set of new surnames for her enemies, collectively known in Chinese as Fu Hui Mang Xiao. These weren't just random characters, they were the names of unpopular creatures commonly connected with evil and bad luck. This began with the downfall of Empress Wang, when her clan was forced to bear the surname Mang, a kind of serpent, branding them as treacherous. Consort Xiao's clan was similarly degraded with the surname Xiao, which was an owl believed to bring misfortune. Later, her own Wu family cousins were stripped of their ancestral name Wu and given the surname Fu, meaning poisonous viper. In 688 CE, prominent Tang loyalist Li Zhen, the prince of Yue, led a failed rebellion, and his crushed family line was forced to adopt the name Hui, another type of venomous serpent, associated with evil, branding them as traitors. This practice of forcing vile names was a psychological weapon, aimed at destroying not just individuals, but the honor and legacy of entire families for generations. Wu Zetian might not have personally overseen each instance of torture, but this reign of fear was undeniably hers. She established the system, promoted these officials, and benefited directly from the purges that silenced her enemies. Perhaps the sheer scale of suffering caused by her reign of fear was a reason for her to seek divine pardon. After hearing all these shocking stories, we have to ask, what exactly was Wu Zetian thinking when she placed that golden confession tablet on Miao Song? We can't know her exact thoughts, But we do know that by 700 CE, Wu Zetian, despite being the most powerful person of her time, was already 76 years old and confronting her own mortality. The golden tablet wasn't just some random offering. It was part of a specific Taoism ritual known as 头龙剪, which roughly means submitting dragon tablet. This practice was common for emperors and high-ranking officials who wanted to communicate directly with the gods and secure a better afterlife. Death comes for everyone, and she was no exception. Imagine Wu Zetian, a woman who broke every rule to achieve absolute power, now facing her own end. While the tablet is a confession, the way she approached it is telling. She doesn't list any specific sins. This leads many to believe that her confession was not born from agony or remorse over a particular event. Instead, it might have simply been an expected imperial task, just taking the necessary steps to clear any bad records with the gods. It was perhaps less about repentance and more about buying a better ticket to the afterlife. She passed away in 705 CE, 5 years after placing that golden confession tablet. With her death, Wu Zetian made one more decision that still raises debate today. She chose to be buried alongside her husband, Emperor Gaozong, in the Qianling Mausoleum, not as the emperor of her own dynasty, but as his empress. Was it a political move for the legitimacy of her descendants, or was it a personal wish to be reunited with the men who had been so central to her life? But perhaps Wu Zetian's most mysterious final statement was her wordless stele, the Wu Zi Bei, which stands silently at the Qianling Mausoleum to this very day. Traditionally, emperors and empresses inscribed their greatest deeds on these monuments. Yet Wu Zetian's wordless stele is massive, imposing, and completely blank. Why leave it blank? The most common interpretation suggests that perhaps Wu Zetian believed her life was too monumental, too controversial, and too complicated to sum up with words. Maybe she felt her deeds and her sins were so immense they defied simple judgment, intentionally leaving her legacy for future generations to fill in. The wordless stele, much like her golden confession, speaks volumes in its silence, leaving us to wonder the true balance of her incredible reign against the weight of her terrible legends. The golden tablet itself doesn't list specific sins, so we can only imagine what Wu Zetian could have been referring to. Was it one particular dark deed, or perhaps the broader weight of a lifetime spent navigating ruthless politics? What do you think she was truly asking forgiveness for? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Tea with Amy. If you'd like to help me uncover even more fascinating stories, please consider joining my membership and becoming a Noble Baoban. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Stay curious, stay magical.